I was expecting you to be more like numb than like you said you're drooling and all that.
Well, I got home and I tried to eat lunch and so I was eating lunch and at some point I realized my mouth was still full. Like I wasn't like chewing and swallowing, I guess, because I couldn't feel any food in my mouth, but
Mm,
I just started filling up.
yeah.
Um, and then I tried to drink something and it just kind of poured out.
Well, for those of you who didn't know the context, he just went back from dentist, not like he's going through some weird things.
That's fine. They're used to me with my doctor appointments at this point, I feel like. But my cheeks are still like definitely numb.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe the beer will help. I'm sure it
Yeah,
can't
it's
hurt.
alcohol.
I'm not doing the straw thing. You're gonna have me drink through a straw. That would have been worse. Like I would have been able to like suck it in and it would just pour it out one side of the mouth anyways. Like it wouldn't
I
be any better than drinking.
I remember when I pulled out my wisdom teeth out that, they told me specifically not to drink out of straw because it's
Yeah.
gonna like, the sucking, whatever motion will trigger all the bleeding,
Oh,
and I didn't know that.
yeah, that's true. This was just fillings, so it's not like serious, but the
Oh.
numbness, like, yeah. Surprised I can talk. I mean, it's only been an hour, but whatever.
Cheers, mix, click, and code with Boozy browsing, sipping and fixing the web one cocktail at a time.
I am recycling my drinks, but I haven't drank this for a long time because you've been drinking Stout. I wanted to go
Mm,
back to Stout, which was breakfast stout. Have
mm.
you had this?
No. What's the brand? Founders?
Yeah, Founder's breakfast stout. Oh, I thought you had it. Maybe I just bought
I
it.
don't even remember you having this one.
Oh, maybe I didn't.
I don't remember it.
But I realized it's a roasted coffee flavor,
Mm,
coffee oatmeal stout. So,
I
whatever.
like it.
Yeah. I remember. I don't. Yeah, maybe I didn't. Oh, but I had to open it with the. Ah,
Bottle opener.
yes.
I am definitely going with a repeat because it's been sitting in my fridge since I had it.
Root
Which
beer.
direction? Go in the right direction. Why is it blurry? There we go. Not your father's root beer. It's a beer.
Hmm.
I like this.
Actually,
I don't
can you?
know.
Am I
You're
backward?
good. You're clear.
Your mirror. I'm mirroring too. I gotta change this setting.
Just left and right.
Yeah, I changed it at one point.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, whatever. I don't know why I care that much.
Tastes.
This will be interesting, I think, because it's cold.
Yeah, this is cold too.
Yeah, I'm good. My teeth are fine. It is like I'm not like gonna drool down on my keyboard, but I can definitely like.
Like,
I
like,
still have some effect of the numbness.
well, you sound fine, so it's
It's
not
just
like
like I can't tell when it's closed. I think that's the like it doesn't hurt or anything, and I have the I don't know. I just can't tell that it's closed, so it stays open. I'm drooling. Oh, jeez. This is my 7th beer of the day.
it's funnier because you just came back from outside, so your nose all red.
Yeah, we got some sun right now.
Freaking.
Well, I was outside yesterday too, so I might actually have a sunburn. I think that's what's going on. 'Cause I
Probably.
can see my eye, like I had sunglasses on because
Mm.
we had a lot of sun yesterday. Yeah, I think I ended up getting burnt now that
Well,
I'm
it was
seeing
like
myself.
cloudy yesterday. It was like that whole weird surge of like I don't know if it was a hurricane. I think it was a typhoon or whatever was coming. It was
Mm,
passing us, so it was really windy. And yesterday was kind of cloudy, and I
mm.
feel like I'm getting lighter for a Florida person now.
Yeah, we have serious winds right now. So we're getting big snow in the mountains and wind down here, and apparently 6 fires just lit up.
Oh,
Um,
jeez. Yeah.
my
Yeah.
wife is asking what we should take if we have to evacuate. I don't. She likes to, you know, prepare. I guess. I'm like everything's already in the truck. We're good, except for
Oh.
the dogs.
So today we will talk about pain points of our ICP outdoor brands. There are some interesting things that people who might not be really following all the technology news or anything going on might be helpful.
Yeah. Well, it definitely goes outside of the outdoor brands. I mean, if you're a retail, I mean, there are some things in here specific
Mhm.
to the outdoor industry and brands, but I think there's some general applicable in any type of direct to consumer
Mhm.
type retail brand, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. We use this notebook
Slides
LM.
the visuals were pretty good. I don't know if you're planning on using the visuals.
Okay. Wait, why don't we do that? I'll share and see.
So, if you're running a mid market outdoor brand right now, you probably know exactly what this feels like. It's like being caught in a perfect storm. The challenges are coming from every direction and they are intense. Okay, let's dive into what this squeeze really looks like.
Can you hear it?
I can.
Okay.
And that's the thing, it's not just one problem, it's everything all at once. From manufacturing costs to marketing effectiveness, the pressure is just mounting, making growth more challenging and way more expensive than it's ever been. Let's put some real numbers on this. First off, your cost of goods. Tariffs on products coming from key manufacturing hubs in Asia have absolutely skyrocketed.
Are we going to listen through the whole
Over
thing? Are we just going to keep listening? I forgot.
No, I was just gonna go through the stats and pause
And then
on
whether, okay.
pause on that one. But
Yeah.
so three stats it presented. Tariff,
Cost of goods.
yeah, cost of goods went up by like 30%. And cost for acquiring a new customer went up by 60%, right? And now the platform is charging you about 25% more for all this e-commerce related platforms.
Yeah, I think the cost, like, just to talk through those a little bit, the cost of goods, um, there's some control over this. Like if you could buy, I mean, depending on your brand and
Yeah.
what you manufacture or what you have manufactured, you could produce more things here.
Mhm.
If you're more of a hard, if you're clothing for sure, or type of soft goods type uh, company, I would say.
Mhm.
But if you're like some type of manufacturing, like true metal type manufacturing, let's say, that's being done more and more here. Um,
Yeah.
and typically the cost is, going to be more, but then also with tariffs, it actually brings it down. I think the other one, the 60% one on the cost of acquisition,
Mhm.
um, I wonder if, like, I know these are not old, but like last year type numbers. I think that's gonna go up depending on what you're trying to do to
Mhm.
acquire, right? Because organic search is becoming less likely to send traffic your way.
Yeah.
And so you have to pay more to offset that. And
Mhm.
that obviously means an increase. And if everyone is having to do it, it means that you're not only paying more just to offset your numbers, but you're also paying more because supply and demand, the more people that spend money on those keywords, the price goes up on those keywords. So I
Mhm.
feel like that number is going to go up even more if you're dependent on that way of getting new audience or acquisitions.
Yeah. And where was I reading this? Used to be cheap. It used to be cheap to buy ads on Google or Instagram to get customers, and those costs have jumped 60%. That was
Mm.
one of the reason behind it. And I think something about Meta as well that it just got more expensive to acquire guests, and also with all this privacy and things that they made it harder to get the potential customer information to target specifically.
Yeah, you actually had to. So that's another hit where you have to get more traffic, let's say,
Right.
because you're not as targeted because the third party data is even more limited or completely limited to nothing at this point. So you're not able to target people as well as you used to be able to.
Right.
Um, I wonder also, and this is just thinking within these numbers. So Facebook, Meta, they created the AI ads. So
Mm.
basically anyone can create ads. I mean,
Right.
that was their idea. They're garbage, but but it also similar supply and demand, right? There's only so much audience, even on those big platforms,
Mhm.
for ads so that they can increase the cost or the price. So your cost as an advertiser or a, a consumer product company goes up even more because any person can create an ad now. They don't need an ad agency to create a bunch of ads. They can just click some buttons in Meta,
Mm.
and now it's pumping random ads, AI driven ads.
Right. Yeah, and then this 25% jump, this is specifically on Shopify. If you are on Shopify, which a lot of mid to even larger size companies still rely on platforms like that, and their prices has significantly increased 20%, 25% for the base fee, and
Yeah.
taking more cuts every year. And I'm sure that it's probably the similar thing for other platforms like BigCommerce, or what is the other prominent ones?
Well, Salesforce has theirs,
Oh,
Commerce
yes.
Cloud.
Yeah.
There's Big Commerce, which is more of a
Mhm.
SaaS, a lower kind of tier product. And then there's the base ones like Wix has their own, Squarespace has their own. I think the not to knock on Shopify. Shopify is just kind of the big player, the big whatever in the room, right? Um, I have seen more Shopify ads on TV and over the air TV, and also just like
YouTube, yeah.
YouTube, and maybe because, I'm in the industry, but I feel like they're spending a lot of money on advertising now,
Mhm.
to continue to maintain that kind of position and to grow. Like the number actually on radio, that's the other one I was thinking of because I hear it like when I drive around. I hear a Shopify ad where this woman, some kind of cosmetic company, she drove it to in her basement to a million plus. I can't think of the name of the company, but she obviously got paid to be on it. But she's a Shopify um, customer, and it's really easy to use the platform, and not it can do a lot too.
Right.
But when you get locked into these places, they're going to increase their fees for potentially not additional services, and that's kind of the thing here, where they're increasing it without really additional services,
Yeah,
at least immediately.
right. So, I mean, I'll continue on it because I think it's gonna cover this a little bit, but we can continue the conversation after.
And that's not even mentioning the big jump in variable fees. It's a sign of a larger trend. The cost of your entire tech stack is climbing. So let's take a closer look at that foundation. The very technology that powers your business is becoming a major source of risk and cost. And look, this isn't just some IT problem, it's a business continuity crisis just waiting to happen. For anyone out there on Adobe Commerce or Magento, this timeline is a ticking clock. End of life isn't just a date on a calendar, it's a cliff. When support ends, you lose security patches, integrations break, and your site becomes dangerously vulnerable. Honestly, the time to plan your move is right now. And if you're thinking of just moving over to Shopify Plus, you have to be aware of the new math. For a brand doing, let's say, 50 million in sales, the changes to their variable fees alone add up to an extra $100,000 a year. That's a pretty significant new line item on the P&L. So, switching platforms, it's not a simple fix. This research from Gartner shows the hard reality. The vast majority of these projects go over budget or take way longer than planned. It's a massive undertaking that has to be done strategically to avoid becoming a really costly distraction from your core business.
What'd you say?
I was saying that's true. I mean, this has always been the case. These are IT projects. All IT projects are always over budget, and they always take longer than they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Unless you work with Endeavor, of course, and then we're at least getting it out on time.
So let's
Um,
talk about the end of life for AM and Magento.
yeah, I mean, these are well, there's plenty of products out there that kind of get retired,
Mhm.
and then with AEM they have their own. They've purchased other products, so they're now supporting those. So you can't just click an upgrade or allow it to upgrade yourself. You have to go kind of export and import into these new tools. And this is a full-on platform site migration, depending on how embedded you are. If you have multiple sites across multiple regions and multiple kind of countries, let's say, these
Yeah.
are big endeavors of time and resources to move to these platforms. These are all things that you can stay on, but it briefly mentioned you're risking they're not going to be updated anymore security wise. So when they're end of life, um, if there were feature bug issues, which is usually not the case because they've been around so long at this point,
Mhm.
very minimal. It's the security issues that'll come up because they're no longer going to be supported on the latest version of X, PHP, whatever the software underneath it is, whatever the programming language is. So those will be continued to upgrade, and then there's going to be security vulnerabilities found that all existed before, but at least they were supported. So these, like, if you happen to be on these platforms because you didn't have to upgrade for so long
Mm.
and you didn't know about this for some reason, most of these platforms you should probably have known, I would think, because you're not just, it's not like you put it on there and you never had to do anything. You've been having to do things all along, generally, making
Yeah.
updates.
Yeah. And I actually call it AEM because I'm so used to
Well, Adobe.
the CMS side, but it's actually Adobe Commerce, that's Magento. Like, I'm calling it differently. But yeah, I mean, I think they initially announced that April 2025 will be the
To be,
deadline, and then, like, they're kinda extending it a little bit because of so many people are still on it. Thousands of brands are still on there, so, like, and they haven't really planned out to move out of it for whatever reasons they have. But its migration is an actual big task, so
yeah, I
understand.
mean, it would be great if they had feature parity between the two, whatever system you're going into, but that's not usually the case,
Right.
right? So you're
Yeah.
not just trying to move content from this to that. Your whole front end is going to be different potentially. Your back end, the way it integrates with your other systems, those are all um, have changed over the years,
Mhm.
and they need to be upgraded. Or we say the word migration, but it's really re-identifying the new way of doing things and then building it that way,
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah, and then there's all this little things like, training for your editorial team or your employees to know how to, even like a simple things as update a product, how to process it, how to troubleshoot the cart and workflow and all that thing will encapsulate into this whole migration effort as well.
Yeah, whole training thing.
Right. And then yeah, I'll just continue and see where we can.
Let's shift gears and talk about the issues that drain profitability day in and day out. These are the operational frictions that might feel small individually, but trust me, together, they act as a massive tax on your business. Now, what's really interesting here is that while the overall return rate has ticked down slightly, it's still a huge number at 14.5%. For outdoor gear, where fit and technical specs are everything, returns aren't just a cost of doing business, they are a direct assault on your contribution margin. This is the average cost of downtime per minute. Think about that. During a holiday sale
These are
or
two
a new
different
product
topics.
launch,
I was going to say this shifted to a different topic now because we're talking about like returns.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I actually was gonna I was like, wait a minute. This is like a different topic now. But returns, what do you think about that? I don't know, like, how do you support technically
yeah,
on those?
I think the only solution from a technical perspective is, and this doesn't go for everything. Like clothing is clothing. Like you can't, you can have so many, you can only have so many fit guides and things like that
Mhm.
for a person's body. But when you're talking about actual products that are going on to, whether it's vehicles or accessories on things, right? The more information you can have about what it fits on and what it can't is going to limit your returns. And also, I mean, depends on the brand, not really the ones that we work with, but if you are overselling or over marketing what your product actually is, you're going to have a lot of returns. I mean,
Yeah.
can't, so have a better product. I mean, have a better product and you're going to have less returns as far as quality,
Mhm.
but also just more detailed information around the fitment. But you still will have some percent. And I think depending on your industry, depending on your actual product line, that's how you can adjust a little bit up or down
Mhm.
outside of the normal.
Moving on to the actual downtime. This A lot of people doesn't really understand what downtime really means in their actual revenue, actual impact on this. So I thought it was interesting. So I just
Yeah.
try to rewind it a little bit. All right. So let's see.
think about that. During a holiday sale or a new product launch, even a few minutes of your site being down can translate into tens of thousands of dollars in lost revenue. Reliability isn't a feature, it's a financial necessity. We mentioned acquisition costs are up, but
Okay. So that was that. But
Yeah, I think that kind of reference of downtime is what most people assume. It's like, oh, the site went down during a peak traffic or holiday. That means that people noticed, people wrote in.
Okay.
What most business owners or product owners don't really understand with outages is that most are not reported.
Yes.
Most of these outages are not reported, not like people are not sending your in like, oh, your site was down, I couldn't check out. No, they just went somewhere else.
Yes.
Like the internal employees didn't notice. People didn't write in to tell you that they went somewhere else. They just went somewhere else and bought it somewhere else.
Okay.
So there are numbers out there that you wouldn't even know unless you're actually monitoring your site and actually monitoring transactions and times and everything to understand that. Because if you're not, I guarantee you're losing money, um, and you don't even know how much because again, it's not people telling you that the site's down. That's just one reference,
Mhm.
and that's a bad reference. That means that it's really bad if
Yeah.
people are telling you that it's
Yeah.
down, or if
Yeah.
you're noticing it. It's when you don't notice it, you should just assume, unless you're doing minute by minute monitoring of your entire site, um, what's going down.
Really. And also, it might be when you notice it, it's like traumatic, like you said, catastrophe, like completely down. But there might be workflow down. So some parts of it was down that you
Right.
can't finish the actual checkout process or to actually start to finish. That also is considered downtime because you can't sell it. You can't complete the whole transaction.
Yep.
You're gonna lose your customer because of that. And then like you said, they're silently moving away. They're not going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Especially the attention span for people these days are so low that they're not gonna deal with it. They're just gonna move on. And even for me, I'll just move on too. Cause like I was like, hey, it's not working. I'm gonna find the same product in a different place or similar product of a different brand at a place that it actually reliably working and I can check out.
Yeah. The number of times I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to check out and something breaks,
Mhm.
um, and then I give up. Like, the only time I'm gonna like, as a web developer, I can go with the dev tools and, like, figure out what the broken thing is and get past it. Like, I'm only going to do that as a developer when I know that I can't buy it somewhere else and I need to buy it right now. And so I do that. I don't send a note about to the company that, "Oh, hey," like, rarely, would I ever do that unless I'm like, a repeat customer and I actually, like, wanna
Want to
use them again.
fix it. Right.
But most of the time, I'm either bailing or fixing it for myself to get through it. Um, but it happens a lot,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, for me. And I don't buy like I buy a decent amount of stuff, but I don't buy a ton of stuff online, outside of Amazon.
Yeah.
Um, like I say I don't buy a ton, but a few times a month, let's say. Still,
Yeah. But it's funny that you mentioned that because I do that too. Because if I really want to bypass certain thing, I'll
mm,
literally go to like whatever I can do, like especially if it's a JavaScript error, I'm just gonna go fix it and then like go through the checkout process. But most people don't have that luxury of
yeah.
understanding what's really going under the hood to bypass that.
Right. It's
And
almost always some kind of validation issue, right?
yes,
Like
yes,
something, I was supposed to check this and check that, and for some reason it didn't validate. But
right,
you can't get around it by doing the UI like a real user's way of doing things. So I have to like hide a button or show a button that was hidden for something, and then check that box.
right. But yeah, so I mean, I do most of shopping online, but for selected a few. But yeah, I'm basically doing
You
this.
buy your beer online. You do all of your shopping online.
Yeah, but I only use same product. So like I'll do either
I know.
Instacart, which have all these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I buy everything online
Yeah.
mostly. Rarely go to because I don't. I'm a weirdo that I don't like to sit around the store and walk around to get it. I'm usually in
Yep.
and out. I know what I want. I'll just get it and out.
Oh yeah.
Usually my shopping doesn't cost that long. I mean, take that long.
Right.
That's why it's easier if I just do it online because I know exactly what I want. I'm just gonna go check in and out. But when that gets blocked by broken website, that's a big thing.
Right.
Anyways, so yeah, so downtime is a huge thing. And also it's only like Matt said, it's only the ones that are reported drives that number. So the number probably is much higher of all the unspoken or hidden downtime that you are not aware of. Right, moving on to paid customer acquisition costs. I think we started with that was a 60% increase
Right.
on this. So
But let's be really specific. It's over $226 to get one new paid customer. When you factor that against the lifetime value of that customer, you can see how quickly the economics can just fall apart if you're not converting and retaining them effectively. All right, so beyond the daily operation,
okay.
Yeah, it's missing some context there. Like that average $226, that's very dependent on what your product is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you're selling socks, let's say, you're not lifetime value is not going to offset that most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, it might, but not with profit, like profit and margins type things.
Right.
So that's like higher dollar items, I would assume.
Yeah. Well, it's that average, so it's probably like the low
I
extreme.
know, but I still feel like that's a big average. I feel like that number ends up being a
Yeah, you can't really average the different product like that. So I
yeah.
get that. But in general, even the number might be really little hard to justify because you don't want to average the different type of products like that. But the
Mhm.
cost of acquisition actually jumped
Yeah,
because
the fact well, yeah, right. The reason or the underlying thing is the cost is going up.
Mhm,
And probably about 60%, which is probably a good like across no matter what your number was before,
mhm.
it's going it it's going up at least 60%. I would assume it's probably going up 100%, like doubling.
Right.
Let's say over 2023 numbers, but maybe even over 2025 numbers if you didn't see an increase already.
Mhm.
Um, you'll this year will be significantly higher than it
Yeah.
was
And this
a year
is one of the
ago.
points that was behind like the notes that it has like Google is stealing their traffic, meaning that when you search for best hiking boots, Google now use AI often gives you the answer right at the top. And that
Mhm.
also impacts a lot. People get answers and leave without clicking the actual brand website. Traffic to these sites has dropped nearly 50%, 50%
Right.
in some cases. So the need is that the brand needs a way to reach customers directly so that they don't have to rely on Google or like Meta or whatever other platform that's dinging you like that.
Yeah, and I mean the AI issue that you bring up, like
Mhm,
if you used to whether you paid or you sent out your products to get them reviewed and then get them onto review sites, content sites, right?
mhm,
And then, sometimes you were paying for advertising on those content sites or sometimes you're paying to get into the review, whatever it was. Like that whole model is now different because the review might matter because it might get added into the AI results, but they're also AI is pulling results from actual pages and doing its own review process a lot of times to pick the top 10, the top whatever product it is.
mhm.
So that whole model of getting on review content sites or paying to be, advertised on those, it kind of goes away. And now you're having to pay. I love the new ads from it's Claude because they're apparently not going to have ads
Right.
in the results, but they're um, hitting on OpenAI a little bit with ChatGPT eventually having ads.
Mhm.
Um, like the whole idea of getting recommended by, and especially with an audio recommendation of a AI bot telling you what to buy, and then like, oh, and by the way, you should be buying this as well. Sponsored by.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
All right. What's the
operational grind, there are these bigger, less obvious threats just looming out there. These are the kinds of risks that can cause catastrophic damage to your revenue and your brand reputation overnight.
Time for the doom and
These
gloom.
what'd you say?
You can't hear me over it? I said time for the doom and gloom.
Oh,
Catastrophic events.
alright, it's
But
fine.
these are real.
All right. Let's see what this 35.5 million means.
Well, I know what it is.
The parent company of the North Face and Timberland was hit with a ransomware attack that exposed 35.5 million customer records. It happened during the peak holiday season, causing massive operational and reputational damage. This can happen to anyone. That's the number of digital accessibility lawsuits filed in 2024.
So previous was a security breach.
Yeah.
This is ADA. Yeah, so security breach. That's traumatic. I think some of the talks that I did was highlighting what it means to have a security breach. It's not the actual number that lost. Well, it is also, but that means that your reputation is lost. People who know, like people heard of that your site was security breached, that people won't go again. It's there you just lost your customer. So it's actually a lot more than the amount that you lost at the time because it's future customer loss. I don't know how you actually evaluate
Yeah.
that. It'll be much higher.
Yeah. And it can be, I mean, it depends on the type of data that was breached
Right.
or what was
Mm,
accessed. Um, but it can be long lasting, like well beyond like current people buying. It could be people that they're not going to recommend, and then those people aren't going to recommend type of thing. It can
right.
tail for a long time to put you out of business or to the point where you have to get acquired by a company,
Mm,
and then they rebrand you.
yeah.
It gets pretty serious because it's not those. There's not really a. I don't feel like most of them have like immediate financial thing, like you were saying. Like it's not like you're getting. It's not like this next slide of accessibility where you're getting sued.
Hmm.
Um, you typically don't get like, sued very often for the data breaches. You end up having to pay for like monitoring and things like that,
Hmm.
depending on what was accessed. But it's um, the the brand awareness and brand kind of hit that's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah. And you have mentioned this at one point, and I think I use that quote a lot, is that Google also penalized you. What a
Hmm.
lot of brands don't know is that Google always think that whatever they put on their site, which is a link to your site, is extension of their reputation. So they don't want their reputations to be damaged by all this security vulnerability sites if you're known for that. So they're not going to even send the traffic there. They're going to do something to not send the traffic to your site. So you're getting double penalized because of that. So um let's go into ADA.
But here's the key detail: 67% of those lawsuits targeted companies with under 25 million in revenue. This is not just a big brand problem. Mid-market retailers are the primary target. And then there's Google.
So this we when we audit our sites, we notice this a lot. And that's one of the first things that we point out right away on accessibility. And we do know that some of our clients that they're actually enterprise level clients, but they have been sued for accessibility issues. So they're very cautious of it. But like this stat was saying, it's not just a problem for the enterprise level websites anymore.
Yeah, it's this used to be 5-7 years ago, maybe. It used to be a government only type thing where you had to comply if your government sites. Maybe it was 10 years ago,
Mhm.
but no one was really suing. And then all of a sudden, some laws and some states changed, and lawyers figured out that well, they can create class action lawsuits or like things like class action lawsuits and bring case um, for thousands of users um, against the site for various reasons. But typically, it's like contrast or no alt text is a obvious one. But there's a lot of other ones that these things flag, and these law firms specialize in it, so they don't have to like I don't know, they don't have to be a user of these sites. They're crawling it constantly, and then they figure out if they can get enough people on the case, then it's financially good for them. So yeah, you don't have to be a $25 million a year company to get hit by one of them. They just need enough, and then it's easy for them to negotiate a settlement.
Mhm. Yeah. I'll actually link whatever the when we did the
Mhm.
accessibility audit with Marybeth with from iMac.
Mhm.
That might be s- well not might be. There will be some good introduction pointers to check if your site is accessibility ready because we did go over some of the tool sets that you can
Right.
use to check the
Yeah,
free version or like some Google extension.
you don't have to hire or even really pay for things to check your own site.
Mhm. And also, we noticed a lot with a lot of e-commerce site that they just put in the plugin that is
Mhm.
accessibility enabled, but How many times do we find out that that didn't even really work?
Yeah, made it worse in some cases.
Yeah, it actually makes it worse than it really is. So you want to ensure that those are working before you roll that out. And moving on to what this is talking about.
The rise of these AI overviews is fundamentally changing search. When an AI answer appears at the top, the click through rate to websites just plummets. For outdoor brands who rely on best of guides and gear reviews, this is a direct threat to your organic traffic and discovery. With all these pressures, rising costs, platform instability, operational drains, and these invisible threats, it is so easy to feel trapped.
All right. Yeah, it always comes down to this. My question is, I know there's a lot that's helping too, but I'm curious
Mhm.
how much is this actually hurting as well?
How much is AI hurting?
Yeah, even
Hmm.
you have all this chatbot. They call it AI, but I don't know how much of it is really AI. Even some of the things that we tested out, it's literally
Yeah.
just scraping through your internal database. That doesn't necessarily feel like it's AI. And also all the results, the numbers on the hypes, and we talked about this in other our previous podcasts as well, the personalization hype and whatever AI integration you did for marketing. We talked about all these ads created by AI. Are they actually helping or is it just overloading so that you just see it?
I think that's yet to be determined on a few things. Like, I think, 'cause like you said, it's not like these tools' ability to like crawl your site and then surface it in a different way. That's not necessarily artificial intelligence. It's just a better crawler putting a different layer in front of users, right? That used to be Google
Mhm.
going to a website. Now it's just a better kind of UI than a search result page for some people.
Mhm.
Like it depends on your use of AI. And then if you're using it on the side, like a chat GPT, or Claude or whatever, your LLM of choice, like you're now used to that interface. I personally don't think that that interface is all that good. They're starting to get better,
Mhm.
but visually they're kind of garbage. I've complained to you all the time. Like I can't organize because now it's just getting muddied. I got personal stuff. I've got work stuff in there. I've got research that I'm doing for personal kind of things. I got obviously a ton of work stuff, and I go back and forth, and I have this whole thing of like quick queries that I got to
Mhm.
clean up myself. That's like chat or search history. Like
Mhm.
I don't look at my search history. Like, and that's the UI that they created for us for a while. And now they're starting to get a little bit better, but like I don't need any of that. I need you to learn who I am if I'm going to be paying for it,
Mhm.
and make it better for me. But don't make assumptions.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, it was
um,
funny that all the hypes, is that really working? It
mhm,
I yeah. I'm not trying to present a solution because I don't even know all these numbers that are it's saying that it's doing to improve is really true because you don't really know the customer's actual sentiment around
yeah,
that experience. It might be that, like you said before too, because it's like it might be another bot coming in and look like it's increased, but it might not be that. And also people might get frustrated and all this over personalization. People might feel freaked out by this thing. So still we're in that stage that we're in the middle of it. So it's not fully known yet because it's so new, even though
right.
it's evolving so much. But it'll be interesting to find out the real number around real practical number around it on the actual benefits of it.
So to sum it up, right? You have to evaluate, like, if you haven't been aware of some of these numbers and how some of these numbers are affecting you, like I was saying, like 2025 was kind of a, like, there's some of these numbers were trickling in 2025. But if you looked at 2023 to now 2026, is projected this year, I think that's a big difference. Like it gradually, like, it wasn't a like a single line in 2025. I think the last quarter of 2025 accelerated a lot of different, like a lot of these changes,
Mhm.
that are going to make your costs increase. Traffic is going to be different going into this quarter and going forward. which is going to increase cost of acquisition, but also just cost of like maintaining certain things, because your website isn't the same. Like, it's not the numbers that are on your website today are not the same as in like August, September, October, late last year, and even late last year. It's accelerating that quickly, where the traffic patterns are going to be very different, and your ability to like compare and now predict, or you need to be thinking very differently, I think.
Yeah. And with all this highly evolving things with
Mm-hmm.
AI and strategy with all these companies, because of all the advanced going on, there's another reason that we didn't want to put the solution out, like the plan out, because it will be different by the time you watch this, listen to it. So
Yeah.
reach out to us and Endeavor, and then we'll do the strategy for you guys. But yeah, so we want you to be aware of what's going on now and in the future, because you don't want to be living in the past, because that's going to be your old strategy to work on. So be aware of what's going on, especially if you are in commerce, or if you're using platforms that we mentioned before. Numbers are changing and the cost will be changing, and it's going to affect your revenue and your plan. So be aware of that. This is more for giving you some insights on what's going on and what you should be on the lookout for, so you can better prepare for it. Well then.
Hey, I can feel my cheeks now.
See, alcohol helps.
I don't know. I think it's just time on the numbing whatever juice, whatever they do, injected me.
Juice. It's out. Well, okay. Then on that note, now you can talk very well and drink very well. We're gonna end this show.
Should do one more show back to back.
All right then.
Right.